What is going on to all my goblins, orcs, elves, and hobbits, and everything in between? It is your boy, your man, back at it with another video. And today we're continuing our Lord of the Rings / Hobbit review series, building up to the newest film, Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim, which I will be seeing Friday. But before we get into the beginning of the review itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also made help with the YouTube algorithm, recommended to more people, maybe they could join the attack. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on this movie down below. With that being said, guys, let's get into And today we are reviewing spoilers, one of my favorite movies of all time, that being Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. It's definitely in the top 50. But before we get into reviewing one of the trilogies, I don't know what I was trying to say there. One of the best trilogies of all time, one of the best starts to the best trilogies of all time. Let's give a quick plot synopsis, shall we? So transition as usual.
The future of civilization rests in the fate of the One Ring, which has been lost for centuries. Powerful forces are unrelenting in their search for it, but fate has placed it in the hands of a young hobbit named Frodo Baggins, who inherits the ring and steps into legend. A daunting task lies ahead for Frodo when he becomes the ring bearer to destroy the One Ring in the fires of Mount Doom, where it was forged.
Alright, so this one in the trilogy, the whole entire original Lord of the Rings trilogy, I grew up with as a whole. And, well, let's just get into the actual review, shall we? So, starting off with the good, all the performances and all the characters. I think all the characters are memorable in their own right. I think the development in the whole entire trilogy for them is really well done. You got, of course, for characters, you got to talk about Elijah Wood as Frodo, which he does great. You also gotta mention, of course, Ian McKellen, the great Ian McKellen. Well, why did I say great? Great. He's still here. I mean, he is great, don't get me wrong, but he's still here. It delivers, I think that's he delivers one of the most iconic lines in cinema history. You shall not pass! As Gandalf, which he absolutely nails. That is by far his most infamous and famous character and his best performance of his whole entire career. Then you also got side characters too. Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn, which, to be fair, he's not really a side character, but he's also a really good character. You also got, why am I blanking out right now? Sean Astin. Yeah, Sean Astin. Playing Sam in here, which him and his budding relationship with Frodo is a key part of the whole entire trilogy, and this is off to a great start here. Also from the Legolas, of course, Orlando Bloom himself, a star-making role for him. He delivers also a great performance there as a side character. Gimli is also really fun, and also another thing for the characters too is the villains. You have 3 different villains in here. One doesn't become, well, I'll talk about him later on in the franchise, but 2 major villains that they set up and develop with Sauron and, Sauron and Saruman. Sorry, can you guys blame me? Their names are so similar to each other. You get tied up sometimes, alright? But anyways, they did a great job at building up those 2 villains. This also brings me to my next positive, the special effects and makeup effects. More importantly, the special effects, I think, are still really good today, especially from movies that came out earlier in that time, because this came out during the early 2000s era, where most of the CGI was awful then. This time around, the CGI is actually quite good for most of the time. And then the makeup I was talking about, you gotta talk about the makeup for these orcs. because man, oh man, they make those things look ugly. And they did really great with also the birthing sequences, where the orcs get born and stuff. That scene is pretty gnarly and pretty gross. Like, it's very disgusting, and they did a great job of making that disgusting. So, and they also did a good job as well of making them have their own distinct characteristics as well. Another positive I have in here is, no, I'll save that for the ending, because it is the ending. Well, I won't spoil it, but yeah. Anyways, another one, the action sequences. The action sequences in here are awesome. More particularly later in the film, I think, has the best action sequences. The one that we all know is the one with the bridges and the, what's that thing called? Oh my goodness, I forgot what it's called, but the one where all of them are in the building with the orcs, and then there's that one creature, I forgot, what is it called? That is so bugging me. I just had it in my head, but I forgot. But the thing that...
Balrog.
The thing that drags one of the characters down, that's all I'll say, because I don't remember what the name of the creature is. But that was, the CGI for that was quite good as well. In that, those chase sequences, they were quite thrilling. Yeah, so that's another one. The world building. I think the world building in here is phenomenal throughout, where it literally kind of places you in the world of Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth, with the Hobbit land, the Orc land, the Elf land, and really introducing you to this world. Another thing, the lore. The lore in here, I think, is very well told, and it's not too an overextending amount like the Hobbit movies, which, to be fair, I think there is some good lore in there, but they carry on a little bit too much about that, unlike this trilogy right here. Another thing is the creep factor of everything, with every single little side villain that is introduced here. I already talked about the orcs, but then you also got things like the whole entire Sauron's Guard or whatever. They did a great job at making them feel really menacing and creepy. And final wait, there was another thing I was gonna say too. And usually I'm the one to complain about this franchise for how long the movies are. This time around, I'm not complaining. It kept me entertained the whole entire time. It's probably because I've seen the movie so many times that the runtime just flew by for me, and I think it did. Yeah, it worked for me this time around. I think it was perfectly. The length of the film was perfect. The final thing in here, I also think, is the ending. The ending, I think it was perfect the way they ended it here. Where originally, because it is a part one in a sense, because there's 3 books, so the way it ends, it definitely leads into the second one quite well. But with that being said, guys, I have no mixed and I have no bad. This movie I love. With that being said, let's bring out the toxic Mita. And I will give this a not toxic an A+. And I love this movie. It's definitely my top 50 favorite movies of all time, or at least the top 100. I love it. But with that being said, guys, that is just my review of Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Are you not a fan? Are you not a fan? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next time, everybody. Peace.